What a day it's been for Saurashtra. That man on your screen from Saurashtra, Cheteshwar Pujara, hitting the winning runs. Before that, Saurashtra won the Ranji Trophy. And then there was another Saurashtra man in Ravindra Jadeja picking his best figures, 7-4 in the test match. So great day for Saurashtra. Harbhajan Singh is still with us. Harbhajan, actually, you know, while watching these two test matches, I actually had to rub my eyes. I was rubbing my eyes because I was finding it very difficult to believe that this is an Australian team. I'm not taking anything away from the Indian team. They've been outstanding. Each player has contributed very well. But you've played Australian teams of the past. Have you seen, and you know, one thing that really stood out about Australian teams, they could lose a match, but you always knew that they'll come out fighting. They always had a stomach for the fight. They will, you know, grind it out in the middle. That's one thing that's missing from this Australian team. Have you seen a weaker Australian team on Indian shores before this?
I think before this series itself, you know, Australian showed what kind of a mind frame they were in. They were too worried about the pitches, the conditions, and Ashwin, and those, you know, lot of other thoughts as well. What will happen, you know, to them. So I think somewhere before the game start itself in Nagpur, you know, they kind of lost it. So, you know, first game didn't do any good to their confidence, and this second game, of course, finishing in 2.5 days, you know, they should, you know, see themselves in the mirror, and they must get the answers whether they have done enough or not. I think they didn't fight, they didn't put up a good show, and the shot selections, what they played was very, very poor, and it didn't look like those Australian teams, you know, which were earlier. Yes, I understand the conditions have changed a lot. You know, we see now the ball turned from ball one, but of course you need to fight it out. It's a test cricket, you know, but you know, first test, it might be, you know, we have seen the ball was spinning from the first ball, but the second test match, ball wasn't spinning that much, but it was just keeping low. You know, that was the case in Wankhede as well, where you have Wankhede, where it bounced little more than Brisbane or Sydney cricket. And this is where you need to neglect, you know, come up with the plan. How do you bat on such track where it doesn't bounce much? So when you're playing those sweep shots, you're always asking for troubles on such wicket where it's keeping low. So it's nobody's fault. It is for them to look in the mirror and see if they have done enough to get the right result or not. And I don't think this Australian team have it in them to compete with Team India. You know, forget about the conditions. Even on a good track, I think India will beat them handsomely.
Okay, there's a big gulf now. It's very evident between the Indian team and the Australian team, and we're not even talking about Indian conditions, because remember the last two times that India have travelled to Australia, those series also India have won. Harbhajan, one word on the three all-rounders, three spinning all-rounders. You know, member of your club, the spinning club. You've got Ravichandran Ashwin, you've got Ravindra Jadeja, and now you've got Akshar Patel. Tell me, it's not just their bowling, but do you think the biggest difference between these two teams, because on occasion we did see the Indian top order also struggle against, you know, some turning deliveries. But do you think the biggest difference between these two teams has been that the Australian lower order just fails to contribute, but here you have three all-rounders that are contributing and putting together some very valuable partnerships, and that's what has made India dominate this test series so far?
Well, I think they are smarter than the Aussies, you know, for sure. In terms of talent-wise, they are far ahead than the Aussies. I feel Ravindra Jadeja is someone who can fit into any kind of 11. You know, you make a World 11 today, he'd fit into your World 11. You know, with the kind of form he is, with his contribution with the ball and bat, he's been an unbelievable player for Team India, for not just for last 2-3 years, but I think more than that. And Ashwin is a proven match winner. You know, he's done really well for Team India, and of course scored those very important runs in Nagpur and now in this match as well. So I think apart from these two guys, they have been playing a lot of cricket for a while now. Credit to Akshar Patel as well. You know, scoring those 70-odd runs in the first inning was a very special inning. On such pitches, if you get 50, it just goes out to, you know, count that those 50 actually feels like hundreds. So, you know, having these three guys batting down the order, and they bat properly like a batsman, it's a big plus for Team India, and credit to selection committee and the management putting all three together in a game where they are putting a lot of pressure on the Aussies. You know, if Jadeja gets tired, Akshar comes, and if Ashwin gets tired, then Jadeja comes. So they have hardly got any time to breathe. So this is what they have done really well. So I think all three guys have been a blessing for Team India.
Okay, so these all-rounders have been doing very well.